Alright, I'm going to skip the next few paragraphs until page 100. There are a number of good examples, but there's no need to elaborate this point much longer. On page 100, we're discussing the fact that Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't get angry, but instead, when he says anger, it's when he's giving us a consequence. And Rabbi Avraham is trying to show us throughout the Tanakh that this is true. He said that you could find in the Torah not just a hint, but even explicitly stated, Al Sodzeh, this secret, this understanding of Hashem's anger. It's not that he's angry, rather that's how we're perceiving him. When Hashem spoke to his messenger is Moshe Rabbeinu, regarding the golden calf. V'ata, now, hanichali, leave me alone. V'yichar apiv bahem, and I will I will become angry with them. V'achalem, and I will destroy them, God forbid. Ve'en kavanat hakatuv ela rotzeh ani lashmidam. Hashem wasn't telling him, let me be angry, he was telling him, let me destroy them. Ke'en adam omer lebal dvaro, hanichali ve'echas. Nobody ever tells somebody else, let me feel angry. Anger is the state which a person is in. As soon as he goes through some kind of situation that upsets him. Meaning, nobody tells you, get out of my house, I want to be angry now. What do you mean I want to be angry now? You can tell me, well, get out of my house because I need time for myself. Get out of my house because I want to beat somebody up. Get out of my house because I want to be angry. You don't need to want to be angry. If you're angry, you're angry anyways. So when Hashem says, Moshe Rabbeinu, leave me alone so that I may be angry and destroy them, says Rabbeinu Avraham, the be angry part is the way we perceive it. The destroy them part is the part that Hashem is actually saying. V'lu haya Hashem ba lidei kas v'hitragshut. If Hashem would have reached rage and emotion, on page 100. We skipped a few paragraphs. Shehem lemata mimidato yitale, that is beneath his dignity. כבר בא הכעס והחתי אם נמצא או לא נמצא איש הטוען כנגדו, שלא יכלה את חמתו. I don't understand what Rabbi Avraham wants from us. What Rabbi Avraham is saying that if Hashem decided to be angry, there wouldn't be a person who could intercede over there and get involved. Hashem would already have been angry. Nobody would have changed his mind. Here, he's not being angry. He's meting out a consequence, and there is a person who's trying to get involved in this consequence. הווי אומר, I mean to say, אין הבדל בין מאמרו יתעלה ואתה הניחה לי ויחרפי בהם ואכלם, ובין אם היה אומר הניחה לי ואכלם. There's no difference if Hashem would have told Moshe Rabbeinu, leave me alone so that I may be enraged and destroy them, or whether he would have just said, leave me alone so I may destroy them. The same thing happened in Shamayim. וראיה ברורה לדבר היא מאמר משה עליו השלום במשנה תורה על אותו עניין עצמו. And the clear proof to this is what Moshe Rabbeinu says in Dvarim himself, הרף ממני ואשמידם. Leave me, and I will destroy them. Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu is recounting in Dvarim the discussion that he had with Hashem. And how does he tell the story? He tells the story by saying, leave me alone, and I will destroy them. He skips the whole part about anger. Because when speaking about Hashem, Hashem doesn't need this term anger. But rather, there's no mention of Hashem's name, only what it really meant, and that was to skip the part of anger. Says Rabbi Avraham, understand this and persist in thinking about this. It's important. And at this point we've reached the chapter and there's nothing else for me to say on this topic, says Rabbi Avraham. Rabbi Avraham is not a Mikubal. He's not a Kabbalist. The Kabbalists pose a question at this point in time. And they ask the following. How could it be that Hashem cannot be angry? Rabbi Avraham is going out his way to say it's beneath Hashem's dignity to be angry. It doesn't work like that. Hashem doesn't get angry. It's how we perceive him. When you say that Hashem cannot become angry, essentially you're limiting Hashem in a different direction. You're taking away from Hashem the ability to be angry. This famous Kabbalist question is, when you say that Hashem is all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipotent, omnipresent, they have all these nice fancy words. When you say these things about Hashem, you're saying He is not able to be not knowing. He's not able to be powerless. Whereas I don't know if this is the only answer to the question. The answer to the question the classic Mekubalim give is, we were created by Hashem because He wanted us, not needed us, wanted us, in order to experience these emotions, shortcomings, and feelings through us. When we fail in something, it's a very divine act according to the Kabbalists. Not just because failure leads you to make better decisions in the future. That's a rational approach to this. Rather, when a person fails, say the Mekubalim, we've allowed this being of Hashem to experience through us, His creation, a little bit of what that feels like when we talk about failure. And essentially my failure is really Hashem's success in feeling such an emotion. It gives our life a little more purpose. This is where the Mekubalim are coming from. We're not just a pawn on a chessboard that Hashem plays with, but we are a being through which Hashem experiences things, so to speak.
But it's trying to understand something that is infinite with our finite ideas and
Correct.
concepts.
That's all of Kabbalah, is trying to understand the finite, the infinite with finite terms.
But you really can't.
You really can't. That's true. You really can't, but you can still try. That's the Kabbalist's whole premise. You're not going to reach complete understanding of Hashem, but at least to get a little bit closer to it.
Okay, for me personally, to say that, our failures, etc., are a way of Hashem experiencing it. I mean, to me that sounds ridiculous. I mean,
imagine a wealthy man who wasn't born wealthy. He worked hard to become wealthy. He grew up in some project somewhere and made it through gang wars and street violence. And finally, he built himself up. Worked at McDonald's, flipping burgers till he paid his way through college, till he became an entrepreneur, and today he's one of the most wealthy people in the world. He appreciates being wealthy. He appreciates where he is in life right now because he worked hard to get there. Imagine the son of that king, that wealthy man. The son of that.
He has a given to him, right?
He has a given to him, and he doesn't need to experience life the rough way. He might appreciate things differently had he been through there.
Right. Okay.
The Mekubalim give a similar mashal, a similar parable. It's not at all the truth, but it's a parable of Hashem. Hashem is everything. Hashem is the most perfect of perfect, the most one of one, the most united of united. And Hashem decided, in His own will, to try to experience what it's like to be that person who worked his way up. And we were the people who were chosen to be that for Him. Don't worry, you're shaking your head. This is why the rationalists fought the Kabbalists for thousands of years, and things are not going to change tomorrow morning either.
But if you take a person and his experiences, okay, but how can you sort of make a parallel between he and Hashem? I mean, it doesn't him and Hashem. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, so he worked his way up, and now he really understands it. Hashem doesn't have to do that. He has all that information, I imagine.
You know the famous question, can Hashem create a rock that He cannot lift? You remember that question?
Yeah.
Most rabbis have heard asked that question. No, it's a stupid question. Don't ask me that question. Can He or can He not?
Well,
If he can, I'll tell you why it matters. If Hashem can create a rock that He cannot lift, then you have now limited Hashem by saying there's something in the world that He cannot lift. If He cannot create such a rock, you've now limited Hashem by saying that He cannot create something. The Kabbalist answer to this question is, Hashem can create a rock that His other part of His being cannot lift. Hashem can create a rock that I cannot lift.
Oh, yeah.
But I am a divine being. Hashem created me in His image.
Oh.
It's the truth.
Okay.
And therefore, Hashem, I'm not saying me, you
I
too.
understand.
Hashem is saying, I can do something, but you can't. And by you not being able to, you've allowed me to experience what it's like to not be able to.
he need you to explain?
You don't have to be a Kabbalist, right? We're not pushing anybody to be Kabbalist here tonight. I'm just sharing an insight. This insight is the road of Kabbalah. This is where it comes from. It is obvious that there would be opponents to this approach. Obvious. And I can't take away those opponents. I can't take away their opposition. And I don't care to decide between the two halves. All I'm sharing is there are two approaches, like anything else. Sometimes we say Ashkenazi, Sephardic. Now I'm telling you Kabbalistic and non-Kabbalistic. That's all. Some would say it answers a lot more questions. And others would say those answers create more questions than there were initially. And great. There are some people who love to delve into these things all day long. I find my pleasure in other areas of the Torah. It doesn't mean I'm right, it just means that's what does it for me. Alright, we'll continue, God willing, to next week on page 102, which is the chapter on humility on Anavah.